Please be seated. Good afternoon. My name is Dan Stansel, and as head of the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Spring 2018 ECE graduation ceremony. First on our program is our graduation speaker, Dr. April S. Brown. April S. Brown received her Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering from NC State University in 1981 and her Master of Science in Electrical Engineering and PhD from Cornell University in 1984 and 1985. Her career of just over 30 years has included positions in industry, university, and government. She started as an assistant professor at the University of Michigan and then joined the Hughes Research Laboratories in 1986. She joined Georgia Tech as an associate professor in 1994, where she also served as the Associate Dean of Engineering, the Executive Assistant to the President, and the Pettit Professor of Microelectronics. In 2002, she joined Duke University, where she is currently the John Koch Professor of Electrical and Computer Engineering and holds a secondary appointment in biomedical engineering. She served as department chair in ECE at Duke from 2002 to 2006 and senior associate dean for research from 2007 to 2011. She recently held the position of senior scientist in the Engineering Sciences Directorate at the U.S. Army Research Office for 2 years. Her research focus is on the synthesis and design of electronic materials for devices and the properties of hybrid semiconductor-based nanostructures. She is a fellow of the American Physical Society and the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. It's a pleasure to introduce Dr. April Brown.
Hey, so y'all look great out there. So that was all about me, but this is all about you. So let me start out by giving you one of the first official congratulations to the class of 2018. Let's all give them a hand. You do look great. Lots of smiles I'm seeing. Family and friends, y'all look great as well. This is a happy day. So let's enjoy it. I'm going to talk about two things briefly and that connect me to NC State and will have meaning in your life, of course. The first is family, and the second is transitions. And this is a major transition in your life with lots of great things ahead of you. So those comments will be brief. And after that, congratulations, I want to welcome you to your new extended family of ECE alumni and the ECE professors and staff that helped guided you to this really happy day, your new extended family. You'll be able always to find your new extended family, some members of it, here in Raleigh. But you'll also find alumni around the world in vastly different jobs and in different life situations. So I'd like you to remember, as I have, and this has guided me, that you will always share a common foundation in history with your new extended family. This is a bond you'll be able to count on in the future, as I've done many times. Given this intimate setting, right, not so much, but the fact that we're all ECEs or closely connected to ECEs, family and friends, I'll tell you one thing we don't want to say too much outside of the bounds of this room about our extended family. We're a pretty special family. ECEs have been central to creating the world that we know today, and you're going to be central to leading the creation of the future world. And so, one thing that marks this, and thinking about history, past and future, is that this is a celebration, a special class, because ECE is celebrating its 100th year anniversary at NC State. So this is a special class and something you can remember. And at the very end of my comments, when I give you the advice that I thought hard about giving you, I'm going to issue you a 100-day challenge in recognition of those 100 years. But you can wait just a few minutes for that. So I feel fortunate to be able to congratulate you because when you heard from my bio, I'm also a part of your new family. In 1981, I stood and sat where you are today in Reynolds Coliseum after 4 years that significantly challenged me and ultimately provided the foundation for great joy in my life and has been a central anchor for me throughout my life, and that is my career as an electrical engineer, which has taken many different forms because of all the options that I've had and that you have in front of you. So I can't tell you how honored I was when I was asked to speak here today because of my connection with NC State. And after my initial reaction, which was, great honor, then there was fear. I'd never done this before. And after I could overcome some of the fear, I was able to reflect on what NC State means to me. And as I've been saying, I can capture it in one word, and that is family. Family and NC State have special meaning for me. My father got his BSEE at NC State in 1956. I then got my BSEE in '81. My sister received her BSEE here at State in 1984. And my son is currently a junior in ECE here at NC State, and he's sitting up there somewhere. I don't know where he is, and it's probably good that I don't have to point him out, but hi, Alex. So this is really a truly special day for me, and you can see why the family theme is so important. Now let me move to the transition part, because I really thought about how I felt when I sat where you are, and that is what I have ahead of me. When I think of this event sort of generally in terms of graduation, it's often portrayed as an abrupt transition. You were a student, and after this ceremony, you will be a graduate. And this makes sense because it's a huge accomplishment. But I want you to ask you to think about it a little bit differently and to take it a little bit more slowly than that. Transitions are important throughout life, as we know. This is a big one. You will have many. They may not be so obvious, but they're important. And as an NC State ECE, you will have many options in your life. I've been able to move around the country through different types of jobs, and I base it on my really, truly great education that I had here and my continual interest in learning. But I want you to suggest that given you'll have all of these options, that you take the time to incorporate and enjoy what you've learned and your successes as you make changes, as you go through transitions. I certainly remember the time that I was here when I started out as a student, as a freshman, and when I sat in Reynolds Coliseum like you're doing today. I can remember standing in Bowen Dorm, signing in as a freshman. My mother was beside me, and my hand was shaking. I didn't want her to see that at all. And I was about to cry. I was really scared, walking around the dorm after she left. And thinking about the difference when I sat where you are, the confidence I had, and the fact that my family was beside me. I was happy, I was relieved, but I was also scared because I saw a bit of a vast, amorphous future in front of me. So I wish I'd done things a bit differently and taken more time with that transition, more integrating into my self-image and how I thought I would move forward the fact that I'd had a great success in achieving my bachelor's degree here in 1981. You know, when we visualize a transition, one way I think about it is, say, the graduate, you've got the university behind you, and you're looking off into the future, and you really see sort of a sunny, open, vast experience, the future. And you may see off on the horizon, in the horizon, a rainbow with a pot of gold, success, glittery words above the rainbow, and so on. And this signifies this abrupt transition. But what I think is daunting is that unlike the experience you've had during your education here, there's no clear path for you. So how you carve that path and move along it is important. During your education, you've had a pretty clear path, right? What do I have to do to complete the requirements to graduate? You've had faculty and staff here to guide you. Now, things are going to look much more open, and there are many different paths you can carve out. In addition, that glittery success sign you see off in the horizon is going to change in character throughout your life. So I suggest that you take a slower transition and you incorporate your accomplishments, you think about them. And that's my 100-day challenge for you, starting now, as you mark this transition from being a student to a graduate and where you're going to move next. This goes from fully incorporating the fact that you have really achieved something phenomenal. And this takes some time. You know, we all have self-talk, things we tell ourselves, and really incorporating good self-talk from this experience takes a little bit of time. My transition during the time from a freshman to a graduate here was characterized by fear. And if I'd continued on as I did my first 2 years here, when I can remember calling my mom, crying when I failed my first chemistry test, seeing that I had a C- in EE, at that time EE, 201, my first circuits class, and crying with joy because I wasn't kicked out of the program, to finally learning somewhere between sophomore and junior year what I needed to do to learn, from building an important group of friends and support, and being able finally to talk to faculty members and get some guidance. So it was huge for me. I then moved to grad school, and I have to admit that not really reflecting upon what I'd achieved at that time meant that I had to press the reset button and go, am I really going to get my PhD now? And I had to work through the whole process again. I think if I'd taken 100 days and done 3 things that I'll tell you, it would have been easier. I would have been able to build more on that success. So what are those 3 things? 1, 100 days. Think about this consciously. Truly allow yourself to fully enjoy what you've accomplished. Think about it. Think about your time here, how you've evolved and changed, how you're a different person, how you're the same person, but what you've learned and, most importantly, what you've succeeded. Okay? The second is develop and solidify your new family connections. As I said, you have a new extended family here in Raleigh and around the world, and mostly in your classmates right now. Don't lose track of them. That's something I regret. Moving back here after coming all the way around the country, I've been able to make connections with my classmates that I'd lost track of. You know, they're gonna guide you and be friends and have, based upon the similar experience, be your extended family. Don't lose track of them. Keep those connections, make them over the next 100 days. And finally, express gratitude. You have your family, friends, you have people who have supported you, your friends. This allows you again to really savor what you've done. So that's the advice I have for you. You'll have many transitions, again, not many so obvious. Take your first step as an NC State graduate with confidence and try to do these 3 things so that you can really understand and incorporate what you've achieved and the new person that you are. So congratulations again.
Hello, my name's Greg Bird. I'm the Associate Department Head of the Electrical and Computer Engineering. It's my pleasure to introduce our student speaker today. Mr. Praveen Jayakumar is known by many as PJ. He's graduating summa cum laude from ECE this May. During his time at NC State, he's been involved with the ECE ambassadors, completed undergraduate research, he's been a teaching assistant, and he's had internships at Lockheed Martin and Garmin. Upon graduation, PJ will go to graduate school at NC State for a master's in electrical engineering, which he expects to complete in December 2018. Mr. Jayakumar claims his biggest accomplishment has been co-founding the ECE Ambassadors Puppy Day, known as Many Wolves in ECE. Please welcome to the stage Praveen Jayakumar.
Thank you for that kind introduction, Dr. Bird. And thank you to the ECE faculty and staff for coming out today to support us and to working with the ambassadors to put on a great graduation ceremony today. And thank you to Dr. April Brown for her inspiring words just a few moments ago. And thank you to the families and other guests and students here, not only for your support today, but for your continued support during our time at NC State. Now, when I first learned there was an opportunity to speak at graduation, I knew I wanted to apply. But when I opened up that application, I realized I had no idea what I wanted to say. So I did what I always do when I have an impending deadline. I went on social media to watch videos of cute dogs. As I was on my 15th loop of a golden retriever who could not catch anything you threw at it, I realized what better to talk about at an ECE graduation than ECE itself. So today I want to tell you about 3 topics in ECE that I've learned and can maybe help me in life and maybe help you as well. First, the Fourier transform. Students may mumble and groan as they've done the Fourier transform for convolution in their linear systems classes or to do FFT and MATLAB in their communication and signal processing courses. The Fourier transform is a tool to transform a signal from the time domain to the frequency domain. It's often used because it helps you see the signal in a new way, and it can allow you it makes certain mathematical operations easier. Similarly, in life, we have to sometimes take a step back and look at things from a new perspective. We can spend hours staring at a computer screen, but sometimes all it takes is taking a step back, reaching out to our great ECE faculty, our peers, our colleagues, or simply just going for a walk, maybe petting a dog along the way. Second, programming. I know many of us have had our experiences programming late at night, coding away for 306 embedded systems where you're trying to get a car to autonomously follow a black line, or for your 592 course project where you're trying to get a drone to drop a bomb or a blimp. You're sitting there coding away late at night, and you hit compile, 6 errors. You say, okay. Fix a semicolon, hit compile, 37 errors. Take the laptop, throw it across the room. In programming, much like in life, things don't always work out the way that you think they will. And that's quite okay. Many of us came here with no expectation of what our NC State engineering experience would be like. But along the way, we've had the fortunate experience to meet many great ECE faculty and staff who have taught us a lot, not only in the classroom, but outside the classroom. And for me personally, I've been able to make a great group of friends within ECE that calls ourselves Hunternity due to the eternal nights we spend in Hunt Library. I'm eternally grateful for them as they've made my college experience a great one. Lastly, circuit analysis. We've done Kirchhoff's current laws, voltage laws, nodal analysis, source transforms. There's so many ways to approach a circuit analysis problem. And just like when we go for our undergraduate advising with Ms. Townsend, or when we go for our graduate advising with Dr. Yu, we see that there's different courses we can take, different paths we can take, different concentrations, and different careers moving forward. I know many of us will take different paths, and the person to the left of you and the right of you will probably take completely different paths than you take. And that's completely okay for you. As long as you are making the paths, taking the steps towards success, however you may define that, that's all that matters. And along that path, you may approach certain problems. We have to take a step back, pet a dog, and approach the problem in a new way. You may go a couple years down this line and you see the path was not originally what you thought it was. But if we've learned anything at our time at NC State, it's to adapt and overcome, or as some might say, how to think and do. I look forward to being inspired by many of the paths that my fellow graduates here take today moving forward, whether it be furthering your education or going on to your careers and into the workforce. I know many of you accomplished great things and continue to inspire not just me, but all the faculty, staff, and fellow graduates. Now, if the only thing you take away from my speech today is that when you have an impending deadline, you should go watch videos of cute dogs, that's okay with me. Just be sure to send them my way. Once again, congratulations, graduates, and go Pack.
So this is the part of our program where we recognize our new graduates. We start with our PhD graduates. The PhD is the highest degree awarded at NC State, and it requires that you generate new knowledge and add to the knowledge of the world. So it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort, and so we have a special hooding ceremony where the PhD graduates will receive their hoods from their advisor or one of their committee members. So as the graduates come up, you can read what their dissertation topics are. I won't read that to you, but you can see what important and challenging work that they've been doing for several years. Okay, we'll begin with Adib Ahmed, advisor Iqbal Hussain. Lee Brian Baker, advisor Paul Franzon. Bo Gao, advisor Doug Hopkins. Abhishek Jain, advisor Aranya Chakraborty. Ashfanur Kabir, advisor Iqbal Hussain. Mohammed Tanvir Arafat Khan, Advisor Iqbal Hussain and Aranya Chakraborty. Wu Yuan Lee, Advisor Brian Hughes. Michael Stephen Lim, Advisors Bong Muk Lee and Veena Misra. Nabita Lakare, Advisor Edgar Lobaton. Jian Liu, Advisor Ning Liu. Maziyar Mobarez, Advisor Shubhashish Bhattacharya. Namita Narendra, Advisor Ki Wook Kim. Jung Bung Park, Advisors Paul Franzon and Rhett Davis. Joshua Chris Shable, Advisor Paul Franzon. Yu Shi, Advisor Masood Baran. Jose Manuel Valero Sarmiento, Advisor Alper Boskert. Castaneda Vechalapu, Advisor Subhashish Bhattacharya. Wei-Hu Rong, Advisor Brian Floyd. Ethan Robert Woodard, Advisor Michael Kudinoff. Yijia Shu, Advisor Alex Wong. Yixin Ye, Advisor Brian Floyd. Let's have one more round of applause for all of our PhD graduates. Congratulations. Well done. I should point out that our master's and our graduate degrees are being distributed by Paul Franzon as our Director of Graduate Programs. So we move now to the master's degrees in computer engineering. Rajat Agarwal. Deepti Anijeri. Advait Apte. Rethan Aripa Nalampurath. Ujwal Arora. Gayatri Balachandran. Andrew Becker. Eric Bepler. Prathamesh Pramad Bhatkar. Sarthak Bhavin Buva. Mahesh Bonagiri. Pankaj Bongali. Kunal Bipin Buch. Deepak Chandra. Snehal Chashkar. Riturji Chaturbuj. Somal Chowdhury. Manila Chaudhry. Paratosh Dandi. Francis Alexander Danforth. Anirudh Dindukuri. Ronak Dharani. Jack Todd. Mohit Vamsi Gola. Sakshi Goinar. Barka Gupta. Karan Gurnasinghani. Shika Holland. Kartik Haria. Arvind Iravinti. Bhavik Jain. Advait Javadekar. Akshay Jayachandran. Saurav Jalani. Venkatesh Kadimi. Pranita Pankaj Kalsait. Akil Kumar Reddy Kancham Reddy. Krishna Vamsi Kari. Prachi Satish Kelkar. Asta Kandilwal. Adita Kandilwal. Rajat Kandilwal. Sai Jagadish Kota. Madhura Kulkarni. Vivek Kumar. Sashank Karela. Benjamin Labra Escudero. Anisha Latsaria. Tanmay Lagare. Vaibhava Lakshmi. Murtuza Tahir Lakandwala. Shweta Luktuke. Jinghua Ma. Sudipto Majumdar. Arvind Kumar Mani. Kartik Mankad. Avinash Boragauda. Arvin Meti. Ruchira Nafade. Aditya Narla. Animal Nayak. Surya Nakala. Srihith Pamanji. Nishant Panigrahi. Akshaksha Bhushan Patil. Ashlesha Patil. Vinyanan Gowda Patil. Sandeep Rajendran. Vinay Raju. Yash Rajwade. Vishal Ramasetti. Siraj Rao. Vibor Saini. Ahmed Samara. Namrita Sampat. Shivani Saran. Divya Sardana. Ksenia Sadova. Manali Shah. Adesh Shetty. Pratamesh Raghunath Shinde. Alexander Simpson. Adarsh Sanjay Singh. Siddharth Singh. Samir Sarab Singh. Arvind Srinivasan. Rohan Srivastava. Puneet Talwar. Shardul Telharkar. Jay Udani. Supriya Umashankar. Aishwarya Vadlamudi. Sai Krishna Vasudevan. Dhruva Venkatachalam. Sahija Kore. Shrivan Achar. Now we award master's degrees in computer networking. Priya Asher. Harish Rao Balaji. Abhishek Banduru Pele. Bharath Bangalore Virana. Ashish Krishna Bhatt. Rahul Daga. Neha Das. Meghav Desai. Parum Dinker. Nirav D'Souza. Aklasparam Lakamanasamy. Danis Fermi. Calvin Fernando. Suhas Gopal Krishna. Rakshit Rava Shankar. Sambhav Jain. Ronald Joseph. Lahari Comey. Abhimanyu Kamar. Uparna Malith. Manushri Manushri. Shibalik Mohapatra. Kshitija Marudi. Shishir Nangendra. Naga Narava Makula. Vivek Pawa. Ameya Prabhu. Nitish Raghunathan. Balasubramanian Babu. Neha Sakulkar. Nupur Sakulkar. Ami Sangavi. Manan Shah. Atit Shetty. Ashish Tandon. Prashant Tanksali. Dustin Lee Thomas. Manoj Lialavarti. Now we have the master's degree in electric power systems engineering. Puan Gao. Taylor Hill. Nimisha Prashant. Eshwar Rao. And master's degree in electrical engineering, Michael Aiken. Ashvarya Bundari. Urvashi Ravindra Bhavsar. Nicholas Kazale. Ayush Chandel. Julian Chomet. Matthew Conrad. Thomas Dotson. Cody Jackson Ellington. Luke Favruso. Siddharth Ganesh. Mudit Anesh Gonka. Timothy George Gubitz. Harshita Gupta. Siyu Huang. Jaideep Jaya. Spandan Kundu. Kevin Lawless. Lynn Lay. Ritesh Lilaramani. Shashank Mathur. Pooja Mehta. Junaid Memon. Dikshant Patel. Subankar Patwardhan. David Philpott. Dustin Potts. Harish Palukandam. Utkarsh Raheja. Hariharan Ramshankar. Aditya Rasam. Abhishek Ravi. Aishwarya Ravichandran. Thomas Renard. Rudrasish Sharkar. Yash Shavankar. Sakshi Sharma. Akshat Shenoy. Mingzhuan Shi. Rahul Tayade. Angel Vaca. Ashwin Venkitram. Yan Chuang. Let's give a round of applause to all of our master's graduates. Our bachelor's degrees will be presented by Ms. Cecilia Townsend, our Director of Undergraduate Advising. So first, the bachelor's degrees in computer engineering. Jared Roger Abel. Kevin Allen Akin. David Nicholas Alder. Timothy Keith Alexander. Ashish Girish Amin. Jonathan Bakley. Jesse F. Ball. Luis Arturo Balabini. Eric Anthony Barrow. Bradley Jennings Beard. Joseph M. Berman. Bradley Barrier Bondurant. Palmer Svensson Brown. Jonathan Henry Chalfant. Afsana Hoke Chowdhury. Dustin Allen Shishak. Robert H. Clark. James A. Cross. Tremaine Octavius Cunningham. Christopher Frank Drake. Christian Sherman Emerson. Graham S. Flincham. Josiah Daniel Gibbs. Nicholas Anthony Gallo. Shailisha Lachelle Escarda Gerald. Ken Bokyong Honeycutt. Andrew Brian Huang. Varun Jasti. Praveen Jayakumar. Khalil Noah Lamar Juicy. Kalichi Kabwezi Kwazimam Opara. Christopher John Locke. Zijun Liu. Eric Matthew Lyons. John Demosthenes Malatras. Travis Aaron Martin. Shirley Litzy Mendez. Ryan Christopher Michael. Praneet Mocherla. Mohit Tushar Modi. Daniel Manaza. Christopher Garrett Mosley. Charbel Robert Najam. Joshua J. Indun. Maxwell Noonan. James Oden. Daniel Joseph Ogerchuk. Keshav Patel. Rushi Kumar Patel. Tyson Thomas Fan. Wesley Fan. Trevor Pollitt. David Alexander Pryor. Sharada Rathod. Jacob Gray Robertson. Daniel J. Robson. Patrick Michael Ryan. Karina Self. Carlton Trevor Sutherland. Quinn E. Stoltz. Saimum Syed. Kai Gregor Taylor. Jonah D. Temple. Brian Robert Tutonico. Oliver Trin. Neelan Samir Vakil. Kieran Thomas Valakuzzi. Nivesh Varma. Connor Blaine Wagner. Shuai Wang. Ryan B. West. Dylan Anthony Wyrick. Kendra Gary Lynn Wright. PJ Shu. Henry Thomas Yaden. Shui Yao Zhao. And now we have bachelor's degrees in electrical engineering. Sultan Ali Al-Zabi. Adel Mohammed Al-Bakami. Abdul Rahman Faisal Al-Faisal. Aaron Clark Allred. Salem Mohammed Al-Amadi. Diego A. Barcenas. Matthew D. Burton. Delaney Ann Clatterbuck. Ty Brandon Clayton. Zachary Shelton Klein. Zachary Allen Coutant. Andrew Philip Craig. Eric Davis. Siddhartha Piedad D'Souza. Ryan M. DiMartino. Matthew Scott Garner. Jeremy Stanley George. Tanner Brantley Gordon. Carson Thomas Gray. Mark Christopher Heidenfeld. Wilbert Carl Jenkins. Andrew Noel Kovler. Justin Kuhn. Christopher Rodney Lawrence. Robert Christopher McPherson. Brian Austin Martin. Joseph Samuel Mason. Kinsey Lanie McCullum. Rebecca E. Miles. Bill N. Mwaniki. Amanda C. Platania. Theodore Wyman Pride. Nirmal Ravirajan. Shane Francis Reagan. Nathaniel Scott Renard. Ryan C. Ritchie. Nicholas Rodriguez. Dana A. Schrader. Lucas Scott Speaker. Kyle Timothy Stickney. John Caleb Stroop. Solomon Ahmed Syed. Els Yasmin Tice. James Randall Thomas. Spencer Reichman Tully. Earl Raymond Von Williams. Rasha Abdul Wahab. Krista Wickersham. Imani Amina Aisha William. Thomas Greer Williamson. Shuchen Shua. Zarar Zephyr. All right, a big round of applause for all of our bachelor's graduates. So I want to recognize certain students who have graduated with honors. And so as I call your name, please rise and stay risen until that group has been called and we sit down. And please, parents and friends, hold your applause until we get to the end of that group. Otherwise, we'll be here for another half hour. So it's a long list. You can read along as I do. So we'll start with the cum laude graduates. Cum laude means with honors. And these are students that are finishing with a grade point average of 3.25 to 3.49. So our cum laude, please stand as I call your name. Varun Jasti, Siddhartha D'Souza, Palmer Brown, Shalisha Gerald, Brian Martin, Andrew Craig, Nicholas Gallo, Jared Abel, Kalechi Opara, Rebecca Miles, Andrew Kovler, Daniel Robson, Kieran Valakuzi, Tyson Fan, James Thomas, Bill Mwaniki, Mark Heidenfeld, Wilbert Jenkins, James Oden, Zachary Klein, Ryan DiMartino, Quinn Stoltz, Christopher Lack, Brian Tutanico, Samuel Stevenson, and John Stroop. Please, a round of applause. Our next group is graduating magna cum laude. This is with high honors. These students are finishing with a GPA of 3.5 to 3.74. So again, stand as I call your name. Abdul Rahman Al Faisal, Nirmal Ravi Jarajan, please hold your applause, please. PJ Xu, Shane Reagan, Neelan Vakil, Zijun Liu, Kinsey McCullum, Shraddha Rathod, Jesse Ball, Andrew Huang, Theodore Pride, Justin Kuhn, Ryan Ritchie, Maxwell Noonan, Diego Arpacenas, Xiaowei Wang, Connor Wagner, James Cross, Joshua Indon, Wei Chen, Amanda Platania, Dana Schrader, Rasha Wahab, Bradley Bondurant, John Malatras, Benjamin Goodson, Jacob Robertson, and Nivesh Varma. And those graduating with a GPA of 3.75 and above are summa cum laude, that's with highest honors. Kevin Akin, Bradley Beard, Joseph Berman, Afsana Chowdhury, Tanner Gordon, Praneet Mochirla, Daniel Manaza, Ross Myers, Daniel Ogerchuk, Ryan West, Hunter Pierce, David Marsh, Nicholas Rodriguez, Graham Flincham, Jonathan Chalfant, Zuchen Zue, David Pryor, Jonathan Bakley, Eric Barrow, Sultan Al-Zahabi, Thomas Williamson, Raghav Balu, Eric Lyons, Ashish Amin, Clayton McKenzie, Jeremy George, Luis Balabani, Keshav Patel, Matthew Garner, Timothy Alexander, Praveen Jayakumar, Jonah Temple, Henry Yaden, and Sui Yao Zhao. We also recognize as outstanding seniors those who are finishing with a grade point average of 4.0. Kevin Akin, Bradley Beard, Joseph Berman, Afsana Chowdhury, Tanner Gordon, Praneet Mochirla, Daniel Manaza, Ross Myers, Daniel Ogerchuk, and Ryan West. We also have some senior awards that are awarded each spring. These are selected by faculty. And so we'll start with our Service and Citizenship Award. It goes to Rasha Wahab. Rasha. The Scholarly Achievement Award goes to Afsana Chowdhury. Humanities Award, Justin Kuhn. And Leadership Award, Kelechi Kwazimam Opara. And the Faculty Senior Scholar is Kevin Akin. I'll turn it back over to Dr. Stanson.
Thank you, Dr. Bird. Graduates, it's taken years of hard work and accomplishment to reach this milestone. However, in addition to hard work, I suspect the support of family and friends has also been crucial to your success. If you are a family member or friend of one of these graduates, please stand and let's give them all a round of applause. And as you might imagine, an event like this doesn't happen without a lot of behind-the-scenes work. I would like to especially recognize a number of our volunteer staff and student volunteers led by Ashley Rose. If you are a staff or student volunteer, would you stand, or if you're already standing, wave your hand? Thank you so much. Some of you may have seen the motivational poster showing a freshly painted yellow line down the middle of a street. The unusual thing about the photo is that the yellow line was painted right over some roadkill in the middle of the road. The title of the poster is "Not My Job." This humorous and extreme example was no doubt intended to encourage employees to be professional and to keep in mind the big picture, the mission of the organization. However, there are other instances where not doing something results from a lack of awareness instead of stubborn refusal. In the early days of the Industrial Revolution, the dominant considerations for a product were quality and price. The product had to work well and reliably, and it had to be affordable. By the latter part of the 20th century, engineers became aware that it was also important to consider how one would dispose of products. And in particular, electrical and computer engineers began to minimize the use of substances such as lead and mercury that cause health problems. During the same period, significant advances were made in the design of products to make them safer. The addition of seat belts in cars, for example. These developments represented another layer to the onion, so to speak. Design should consider health and safety in addition to performance and price. I believe we're at the threshold of considering a third layer to the onion. Let me explain what I mean with an example. A difficult transition for many elderly people is coming to the realization that they have reached a point where they should stop driving. In the US, for many, if not most, being able to drive is equivalent to having independence. One of my hopes is that self-driving cars will arrive in time to save me from this dilemma. In a recent conversation with one of the staff engineers who is the parent of a preschooler, I became aware of a different perspective. She was hoping that self-driving cars would rescue her from living through her daughter's getting a driver's license. Clearly, there are many potential benefits from this emerging technology, including transportation that is safer and lower cost. But at the same time, while the emergence of this technology will certainly create many jobs that didn't exist before, the potential for job elimination is also extensive. As engineers and innovators, we have had a tendency to focus on a single side of the equation, the creation of new jobs through our innovation and entrepreneurship. But shouldn't we also be giving thought to the other side of the equation, job displacement? I would argue that engineers are in the best position to understand these issues as well as to propose solutions. Not only do we understand the technical issues, but the courses you have taken to satisfy your general education requirements, such as economics, history, and literature, provide you with a foundation to begin to appreciate the human and cultural contexts as well. So this brings me to my proposal to consider a third layer to the onion. In addition to performance and cost, and health and safety, I challenge you to think about the societal impact of innovations and to contribute to finding ways to ensure that as many people as possible benefit from the innovation. We may not be accustomed to thinking of this as part of our bailiwick, but I submit that it should be, both as engineers and as citizens. I don't have specific solutions to suggest to you, but I'm confident that you have the creativity and competence to find solutions. My confidence comes from knowledge of a distinctive group of innovators whose ranks you join today, the Wolfpack ECE family, a community that dates back more than 100 years and is now comprised of many thousands of outstanding professionals working to positively change the world. In closing, I want you to know that our success is intertwined from this point forward. So it's very important that we keep in touch. The success of the ECE department will increase the value of your degree, and your success will enhance the stature of the department. This symbiotic relationship is important to us both. And with regard to keeping in touch, I can also attest to the fact that there are few things that professors enjoy more than hearing from former students. And with that, I'm happy to conclude our ceremony. Let's hear it one more time for the class of 2018. I would like to ask everyone to remain seated while the faculty recess. And then I would like to ask the guests to remain seated while the graduates recess. And then I wish all of you a wonderful evening with family and friends.